If you clicked on the video, you've probably seen the end screen for Orbit, where all the orbs bounce around in the ball pit in a really realistic manner, physics-wise. It's really cool and is interesting how it's made, and in this video I will be going over how it was made, or at least my guess on how it was made, and also how to make it yourself. Let's get into it. The first thing to do is to set up and run a physics simulation and save their positional and rotational data for every step of the physics simulation until it has ended. The next step is to analyze the data, and for every object that ends up in the simulation, for their first frame, add an orb. For every position after it, add a keyframe, so you'll be able to run through all of them and save objects without having to use move and rotate triggers. Do this for every orb that ended up in the simulation. Now, we need to add the player. When the player is added in the scene, move the camera so that the player looks like it is in the correct position. The player is going to be staying still this entire time. This is done by moving the camera in the opposite direction that the player moves in the simulation, also relative to the player rotation. Now, in order for the player rotation to work, we need to rotate the static camera object and all the orbs around the player in the opposite direction, also rotating the camera view itself also in the opposite rotation. The way I ended up rotating the orbs was by just adding them to a UI trigger, as it was just easier. Now, in explanation, this seems all pretty simple, which it is, but I'm not very good at coding, so this took me about 2 weeks. Now, if you want to use my code and not have to make your own, the link to my GitHub is down in the description. So, in order to actually use the program, first you have to make sure you have WS Live Editor installed and opened. So open up your own level, make sure it's empty, otherwise I don't think it'll work, but you probably also should just do this on an empty level anyways. So in order to actually run it, you're going to want to open orbitremake.py or main.py. I might rename it to main.py just so it's clear on which one you need to open, or I won't. You're going to see it's running this, which is the simulation, and whenever you're ready, just hit any key on your keyboard and it will close, and add all the objects to the editor. Now, when you run it, and for the best effect, you want to make sure that you have a clear background, so I'm going to set it to this, and also turn off my macro. Quick note, it doesn't have to be in platformer, you just have to keep the player in one space, whether that be using arrow triggers or teleport triggers. It just has to stay in one place at all times. For the best effect, you're going to want to make sure you have a clear background, so just set it to this, or put a blank object behind. You want to make sure so you can't see the camera rotations at all. And when you run the level, you will see that it's the thing that just ran. Now, in the actual code, I do have a set seed in place. You can remove that, but it might be a little buggy. It shouldn't be, but it might be. This is just a pretty good one. I don't know. The player positioning is not perfect, so sorry about that. Yeah, there's the Orbit Endscreen remake. And also, if you want to make sure the black and green orbs don't rotate, they are going to be put on layer 2. Just put down a saw, select it, hit disable, and they won't rotate anymore. I don't really plan on doing too many more tutorials, if at all. I will be explaining more things, like on the technical side of Geometry Dash. So if you want to subscribe for that, do that. But if you were just here for the tutorial part of the video, then probably save your time. I don't want to have a bloated subscriber count. I'm not extinct.